of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we've won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you'll get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never render it back, no.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Ooh, wow. What a week, what a week, what a week. Welcome to Tuesday night. I was going to say discourse, but that's that's salacious couch. That's their saying. But that's the perfect word for everything that the events of today.
The events of today.
We got a lot to talk about, you guys. Look at this camera. Let me just show you what I'm looking at.
Crazy people.
Look at this.
I can't even see. I don't have my glasses on.
Aldo, this look right to you?
It look like we grow tall. Yeah, as well. Andre.
I say Aldo. I'm still in the night step. I can't, you know, it's a delay, so I won't be able to see it until
maybe like 5 minutes from now.
Yeah. I just want my head to be in the scene.
I know, because I know you about to go in, because I saw you sharing and stuff. I was like,
Right. So, you know, part of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight is, you know, Jussie Smollett. We're going to go ahead and do, hey, Sharon. That's my workout partner. Tomorrow.
Who Chanu?
Nixon.
Oh, where's she working out at?
We work out. We go.
Hood
we go
people
to
do
that
not
gym.
go to the gym.
In at the
Hood
gym.
people do not go to
Hood
the gym.
people.
Where's Sharon go at?
We go to the gym twice a week.
Do she wear her party cap? What party cap did she wear?
Nope. Her hair was nice in a bush.
In a bush? What party cap was that?
Africans. We gotta.
Which one y'all go to? I need to see that.
Downtown.
The one, Planet Fitness? Mm-hmm. You not gonna go to Mondawmin? You busy?
For Mondawmin? Oh,
they got a Planet Fitness.
I'm way too busy for Mondawmin. They got a lot going on.
Where the Marshalls
I
was?
actually quit working out because of Mondawmin.
Because he was running from the gunshot. It's where the Marshalls was. Well, it's gonna be where the Marshalls is.
That's gonna be a big one then, because that Marshalls was huge. It's gonna be definitely bigger than this one then.
It's probably gonna be about the same size. It's actually probably it's probably be a little bit bigger, but not much. Because the one downtown was kind of one of the smaller ones.
That's to say, this one downtown is
that was.
small.
I think that was gonna be about the same because they're gonna have locker rooms and stuff. So it's gonna probably be about the same. I want them to add.
I never went in the locker room, so I don't even know how big they are.
They nice. I mean, I only went in there. I went in there because I was trying to be, you know, slick. No, I had a little. You know, sometimes. Like, if it's not a lot of people in there, the people that work there, they help train you. And I was trying to show off because it was a new, you know, a little younger person working in there. And I was doing too much, and all this started cramping up. And they have showers, and then they have the rooms across from the showers. And when I said I was
she said, not a bush.
It's called a natural dew. Can't call it bushes no more.
No, she worked up in a little bush.
I'm going the next time. When y'all going?
I had a little bush too right here in my new growth.
What y'all going, the weekend?
Nope, tomorrow and Thursday.
What, in the middle of the day?
6 o'clock.
In the morning?
At night.
Oh.
So that's what we do. We went for the first time last week. We had a good time.
What I'm doing, I might go with y'all.
We got in the hydro chairs. Oh, that was amazing.
See, they didn't have them down there when I went.
Really? In the black, with the black card?
No, they did. All they had was the tanning beds. And
the they got those.
When I was.
Then the massage chairs. Now they got these hydro chairs. That massage right there is outstanding.
I might go, so I'm not wasting my $20 every month.
But that's what I said, because then this is, you know, I got this membership 3 months ago, and that was the first time I've gone in 3 months. So.
And why do I still don't know why. I think I chose the $20 one so I can go, because they are over everywhere. So when I go to Philly.
Oh, so you can go to any one of them, right. So anyway, look, like I said, we're going to talk about Jussie Smollett. We're going to talk about Jaja Banks. We're going to talk about...
Why's her name Jaja Banks?
AKA Catherine Pugh. We're going to talk about women over 30 turning into lesbians. That's the new trend.
Is that from the View conversation?
No, this is from an article I read, and I think it was in either in Touch or Claire.
Because Rosie O'Donnell said when she was on the View, she had a crush on a non-sexual crush on Hasselbeck.
Oh yeah, I seen that today on Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
She was, but you know what? She got stunned because she didn't know what the hell to say. She was like, "That's very offensive." Right.
But I didn't even know that she didn't even, she's not in television no more. I mean, is Elizabeth Hasselbeck still on Fox News?
I think she is. I think she may have left the show that she originally left for, but I think
which was that morning show, that Fox and Friends.
Yeah, I don't think she's on that one anymore. But I think she said she's still on TV.
I definitely, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to this because I think this Jussie Smollett conversation is what is like.
But it's not anything that and I hate all the bandwagoners now.
No, because the reason why I say that is because I got into so many arguments today.
He ain't show you the arguments from the weeks prior. He just showed you last week's argument.
Right, because that's what the reason why I did last week's argument, because we said this last week, that he was going to get off.
But I've been saying it's.
So have I. I mean, the whole theory was that they did not have any evidence.
No, they did.
And they knew they did not have any evidence before they dragged them brothers in between. They dragged them brothers in front of the grand jury. They knew they did not have the evidence. Their biggest part that they thought was going to be damning was that damn check. 16
charges.
And it was exorbitant. And they charged too many charges.
You can tell all the people who still use Ace checking, who use checks anymore? People with fucking checking accounts.
So we're definitely going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to talk about McDonald's, Mexicans.
Shouldn't say it like that.
I'm going to say it like that because I want you to come back and join the show. We're going to talk about these Mexicans. Now, that's how I should have said it.
Right, exactly.
In front of it. Right, we're going to talk about Mexicans.
So racist.
This lady that thought she was black all her life.
Oh, the white lady.
Turns out she's not.
She probably is.
She's actually not. And then I got a new civic survey. I did a new civic survey this week, which was I got 2 questions from it that I wanted to relay to the audience because I thought they was like, I want everybody to start taking a part of these like polls, because that's how you if you know these polls are the tastemakers in politics. Everybody use these polls, and I think that's really idiotic. What?
Yeah, but people don't trust polls like they used to.
And you shouldn't. I don't really think you should because when people do polls, they usually test a set of 1,000 people, and then they take that result and make it law. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You don't know, and it's supposed to be, and it's meant to be anonymous. So they get these big giant lists, and then they call these numbers, and you never seem to wind up on these lists. Right. Everybody got a cell phone. Everybody has a phone number. And
the type of people
some people still got house phones. I've never added to these lists for these polls, and I don't get it. Like, the phone company don't know I'm black.
Well, it's because they're skewed. Like, they're only going to pick a certain type of demographic. They're not going to pick somebody who owns their own business, who works a job, who has certain criteria, because then you're always going to vote this way. The same thing how they pick a jury member. They're never going to pick somebody that walks right down the middle. They're always going to pick somebody on the extreme.
Exactly.
So
I just want everybody to try to get a little bit more involved in their political life, because it matters. And if you didn't know it, it does. Just know it by the fact that he's already getting ready to start to build the wall. And I told you I wanted to be out of here before he started.
Well,
they approved $1 billion for the wall today. Not Congress, but he got it from the Pentagon.
I just read somewhere where they took 16 million, or was it billion? 16 million from the Special Olympics. So they're taking money from all these different organizations or parts of government to fund this. it's crazy. Well, the crazy thing
they
is
did a
parts
vote
of it
today.
already had
They needed
balls to it.
2/3 in the House of Representatives to stop the national emergency. They didn't get it. They were 38 votes shy. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue the conversation right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
That's scary. Oh my God.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Exposed Radio.
Well, if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
Real. Right. That's the real deal.
It's period.
Right. And all that old money shouldn't go toward this, money should go to. If the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week, you don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
This unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new. Take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move. Don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough. Show enough, she couldn't get the feels up from me. Oh no, she couldn't.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show.
Any trouble, because I get into any trouble, but I had a problem that this then became a discussion at that workplace environment. Now, the discussion was I should have been more sensitive. In what way was my first response? And I guess when I had to meet with that said person who had the issue with the person who was said leader of that organization.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Anyway, because you know this is a short break anyway. I wanted to start with talking about Miss Jacqueline Smith, the late Miss Jacqueline Smith, and the charges of her husband and stepdaughter. Would that be? Yeah, stepdaughter, Valeria.
He gonna keep saying that lady name.
That. Excuse me.
So I did. Oh, we back on. I was about to go away.
So they have now been brought back to Maryland. And apparently they went in front of a judge and tried to ask for for bail, which was denied. I don't even know why. I don't even think they even had to go to court for that to be heard. Because you tried to run. So why do you think you want to get bail?
They still had to try.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying they didn't have to. Like, you tried to run. Bail's denied. Just sit there until your trial comes. We'll send you a letter.
Well, that's the messed up part about like the justice system. Is just a big waste of money to tell you something.
They take you all the way to the courthouse to tell you that your bail's denied, to take you all the way back to the jail. It's pointless. And
that's hours. That's where all them hours going to from the city.
So bail was denied on Thursday morning, and the judge said he considered them an extreme flight risk.
They fucking left the state.
It says, according to charging documents, the Smiths gave inconsistent timelines of the night of the murder, and cell phone data puts them in Druid Hill Park.
So the day of the murder, they were in Druid Hill Park.
It says the cell phone data puts them in Druid Hill Park, far from East Baltimore, the East Baltimore blocks where they claimed that the stabbing happened.
I mean, that really don't mean anything though. Because if you look at when I go to Google to check the weather, it put me in fucking Drill Park. Like, it don't.
Is your locations on? Because it don't do that
my
for
location.
me. Mine always puts me where I'm at.
And adjacent.
No, Mount Vernon when I'm using it. You tried it.
And the adjacent parties. But it
depends on where I'm standing at my house. It'll sometimes say Pigtown or Federal Hill. If I'm standing in the front part of my house, it'll say Federal Hill. You know, back part it'll say, you know.
Even though that's reversed, but it's okay.
It's not reversed. I live in Federal Hill adjacent. It's FHA.
Oh, you live in a hood house now? You live in... Come get him. What's his name? What's the black man name? I forgot his name. Come get him. He lives in
the sleepy one.
No, what's the neurosurgeon?
It's the sleepy one. He always sleeps.
Oh yeah. Come get him. He fraud. He living in the house. He own a business.
Oh gosh. So what I'm hearing here, it says other inconsistencies were also been seen in both Larry and Kevin Smith's stories. So just based off the cell phone towers, is basically stating that it's possible that they killed her in the park.
What I'm a continue to say,
where her screams wouldn't have really been heard.
If it's true, the two of them get high. I feel like either the daughter burnt somebody or the father burnt somebody, and somebody got revenge on the mother. Like, that's just how I'm just saying that happens a lot here. And I just feel like somebody retaliated because maybe the daughter burnt somebody and the father was trying to help her out and couldn't get the money and they killed the mother. Like, I just feel like that happens. I've known that to happen before. And that's unfortunate, but like, it was a couple years ago where there was a string of older people that were tied up in their apartments and they couldn't understand because none of these people had no familiar or friendship connection to each other, but somebody in their family either did drugs or sold drugs or were a part of drugs, and that was the retaliation because they kept finding them older people in their homes tied up, and that was their parents. So somebody lived in the basement and them people came in the house and retaliate against their family, and I think that's what happened.
Because they were at the, they were right directly across the street. Right? Apparently, you know, according to their story, they was at the American Legion partying.
That's right behind the gas station.
Right. And
actually, right on the side of it, on Drew Hill Parkway Drive.
And it says, and according to their stories, whatever time they left there.
That would have put them
12
in
to 16 minutes later, they were in Drew Hill Park.
So that's where all of them were? That's where the husband and wife were coming from?
That's where all of them were coming from.
So they were all together?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know she was with them. So they went to a party there and then they left there. And where were they supposed to be at? What was the neighborhood?
Oh, where they said that she got killed? That's what
yeah, like where was that neighborhood?
I thought it was all like off a monument or something like that, all the way.
Oh, wow.
I know it's by John Hopkins or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like she was killed somewhere, and that's where they found her.
It said in each of their statements, Mr. and Miss Smith each stated they headed south after leaving the American Legion. Neither mentioned going to Drew Hill Park.
Why were you in Drew Hill Park that late? Because this was at night,
to
right?
commit a murder?
I'm just saying, or are y'all having an orgy? Like, what is going on in Drew Hill Park that late?
Committing a murder. I would say it's a question.
But they found her in the. They called.
There's more to this. I mean, this article right here is like very detailed. I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 15 paragraphs of stuff. So when we come back from this break, I'm just going to finish this off because, I mean, just out of respect for Jacqueline, I mean, this has been a lot.
I wonder if she has any children.
Smith? That's a good question. All right, we'll be right back.
First they love you, then desert you. Leave with a plate full with no spoon. Ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste of been bad, burned and fucked over. Remain strong through the Passover. Kicking haters out of the way like masked over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't the man to me that let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, don't pan I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see. I beat the haters, they know I'm greater. That's why they buzzing for the elevator. But I can't save you, we too loud on the pedal stool. Don't carry favors, always got your hand out demanding favors. When I just looked out, now you need more paper. I can't breathe, give me 3 feet. I never let y'all be the death of me. When my patience run thin, yeah, nigga OT. Cause they wanna see me down like I'm an NCT. 6 words, get the fuck away from me. Say I help you out if you can help yourself. I keep it G till I DIE.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right?
Radio Loyalty.
Click that banner to join now.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right.
They were going into that National series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You
Padres
just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
That's what you would do.
It's so rude.
You're supposed to listen for the applause.
I listened. I heard them. They here. Welcome back. See, I hate that word. But that's not why I said it. I just want to pick up from where I left off. We're still talking about Jacqueline Smith, who was killed.
It just don't
murdered by her, who they're now suspecting is her husband and her stepdaughter, who are the killers, allegedly.
Well, it ain't alleged.
I don't know if it's alleged now because at this point
got him.
They tried to run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's police said the direction the two suspects were traveling, indicated by Google data, shows a different path of travel than described by either of them.
Hey, damn Google.
It's tracking you. I mean, you need to understand that. Like, you can't be a smart criminal with a smartphone.
Yep.
In an interview, Kevin Smith said that he got lost and didn't want to admit it in prior statement. Like, why wouldn't you want to admit that you got lost?
How the hell you get lost in Drill Park?
He further said they were sitting in the park, looking at pictures taken during the evening in his phone.
Because even coming from the Legion, they got to go all the way around to the Green Spring entrance or around to where the zoo entrance is to even get into the park.
And here's what's interesting. After all of this happened, so after he did the WJZ interview, he then went back to work and requested to be transferred to Florida. That's suspect.
Because the panhandlers was gonna find him.
It says immediately after the interview, Mr. Smith got into a rental car and drove to Winter Haven, Florida, where he requested to be relocated by his job. Police never found the victim's cell phone or necklace. Kevin Smith also indicated later in the interview on February 12th that the female panhandler was wearing a blue hoodie and a jacket. She had both. She was rich. But in his previous interviews, he indicated the panhandler was wearing a brown jacket.
Yeah.
So it's all these inconsistencies in his story is what's getting him effed up. His wife gave. Then he said his wife gave her $10. Then a man with that woman approached the car and to thank his wife, but instead stabbed her and snatched her purse. Lie.
When it first was said, I didn't believe it. Like, my mind goes straight to this seemed like a drug action going wrong.
But here's where the lie continues. Police say after the review of 27 cameras in East Baltimore, they never saw Smith's car in the area where the suspect claimed that the panhandling incident happened. So they did kill her. They killed her in
First of all, so your cameras work now. First of all, your cameras work. So when something happened to somebody, a regular citizen on these corners, your cameras don't work. But so apparently the cameras only work on East Baltimore. So don't do no crime in East Baltimore because the camera's working now. That just BS to me. Like, no.
So according to the charger documents, also police wiretapped Kevin Smith's phone. They also interviewed his brother, who told them that he wanted to get rid of her because she was going to get a divorce. So that's where you were asking that question. Mm-hmm. Why? Because she was getting ready to leave, and the money was going to go with her.
So why you at the Legion Hall if you going to leave? See, none of this makes sense to me.
But that was the setup. Can we stay together? Let's go out tonight. I'll wine and dine
to the Legion Hall.
I'll wine and dine you with your own money.
To the Legion Hall, though.
Hey, he didn't have much money, so he had to go where the coin was going to last.
The Legion Hall.
Let me get you twisted, and we'll just get rid of you in the park.
Because it's not quite Park Heights.
The charger documents showed that while monitoring the wire, Kevin placed two phone calls to flight reservations, attempted to book a one-way to Cuba and a one-way to Canada. But this is why I say we're criminals aren't smart, because he wanted to go to Cuba, he wanted to go to Canada. Both places you need a passport. He didn't have one. He also inquired about traveling to the Virgin Islands. Now, that's why I said if you were a smart criminal, you would have thought about going to the Virgin Islands first and then maybe trying to take a ferry or a boat off of the Virgin Islands to another island that does not have it. Or swim. He could have swam there, too. You might
you ain't never been nowhere. Oh, no, my stomach hurts. Because he don't have no passport.
But you wouldn't have wanted to travel that way anyway, because you would have got caught by them stamping your passport and checking you in. God. Then they still got you. They would have tracked you, and then anywhere you're trying to go got extradition.
So now Google has tracked your plane attempt reservation.
anywhere that's circling this United States of America has extradition. So you would, if they would have arrested you anywhere,
but they wasn't looking
you.
for him at that point. He should have expedited it.
But what I'm saying is if he would have took his passport and went somewhere else, say for instance the Virgin Islands. The Virgin Islands is a part of the U.S. They would have got you there. If you would have went to the Dominican, if you would have went to Jamaica, if you would have went to anywhere, Honduras, there's extradition. But if you would have got to Honduras, you probably would have been safe because ain't nobody going there.
Right.
Your best bet would have been to go to Venezuela. They don't have no law right now.
See, and this is what tells me, like, he didn't...
They don't have no lights right now in Venezuela. You would have been there.
That's Puerto Rico.
No, Venezuela, where the president don't want to step down. That's what's going to happen to us in 2020, I'm telling you. Watch your back.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
That man ain't going to leave.
That's not going to happen.
While on the phone, Keith also asked, let me get to this part right here. He also inquired about going to the Virgin Islands without a passport. The reservationist told him he could travel to the U.S. Virgin Islands with his driver's license. So he booked that flight. Never made it because apparently they was after him. So that's how he ended up in Texas, trying to get over to the Mexico border.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of Mexicans, the Mexicans are stealing the border wall.
You said Mexicans. You got to be careful.
I said speaking of the Mexicans.
You keep calling them the Mexicans.
They're stealing the border wall. That's what I was getting at.
Where they taking the wall at?
Shout out to Lolita. Their show is called Now We're Talking. It's on Thursdays at 7. Right?
Thursdays at 7.
Yeah, Thursdays at 7. She says on here, on this version of the dumb criminals, when you don't watch the Law and Order, you get all you get all tripped up.
Stop watching The Wire. They all get caught on The Wire.
I mean, I think that is so stupid. I mean, like when you're not a criminal, you always think of ways to evade something. Like
I'm not a criminal.
That's what I'm saying. But when you're not a criminal, this is when you think of things to do if you got in trouble.
But see,
when you are a criminal, you do the stupid shit that's gonna get you locked up.
No, see, this sounds crackheadish to me, and I'm like,
it's very crackheadish. That's what I'm talking about. You break the law. Crackheads are breaking the law all the time, but just by putting it up to their nose.
But something in my instincts telling me that this has something to do with somebody, and I don't want to keep going to being burnt, but it just. Something just don't sound right. One, how do they transport the body? So they kill her in Drill Park. They take her over east.
You think they ever took out the passenger seat? I don't think they did. I think they killed her in the passenger seat.
I don't.
And they do. Hey, if y'all know she did it in Drew Hill Park, you need to check the reservoir for that cell phone and necklace.
How are they gonna do that?
What do you mean?
All the people that walk through. Yeah, but
check the water is what I'm talking about.
But that area is fenced off right now.
It is, but that ain't nothing from stopping you from throwing a cell phone and necklace into that water.
But I'm quite sure it's cameras over there though, because there's equipment right in that area. Because all that equipment right there.
Oh, what equipment?
Because they're remodeled. They're
oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I haven't been to Drill Park and I've never been to Drill Park.
You can see when you drive on past around the reservoir. But I'm just saying, it just seemed like, I don't want to say they didn't do this. They have something to do with it. They know who did it. And I think they just got scared. Because WJZ, I don't know what happens when something like this happens. They find your house. And they want to do an interview. And that's what happened. And that's what they should have said no to this interview. No, we don't want to do this.
But see, they trying to cover their story. They couldn't decline it.
But why would you do that and you know you lying?
That's why they did it. Because they knew they was lying, so they thought they was good actors. Turns out the Oscar didn't go to.
And see, this is the stupidity that is this community. Everybody start jumping on, yeah, we got to do something about them panhandlers. That's
exactly what happened.
I was like,
then it went to the what do they call them?
The
squeegee boys.
Yeah, because they've been violent against me. Yeah, because you know what? When I was at the light, I told them no, he cussed me out.
Right.
So
One of them tried to hold my window from winding up. I heard that too. That's crazy.
Right. You should have squished his damn.
Why was your window down? It's 6 below 0 outside.
Right. You're not even telling the truth. So you rolled your window down to communicate with them.
Anyway, we're keeping on this story.
Okay.
It's still developing. We'll
unfolding.
find out when. I definitely will relay when the case comes up to trial because I think I'm going to actually go. I'm going to take a long lunch break for that.
I wonder if it's going to be across the street.
Thank you. That's why they're here. Hey.
Don't tell.
It's going to be in the circuit court.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know though, but it might. I don't know. It might be at the federal courthouse though, because they had to get extradited back to here by FBI. So I don't know if they took over the case.
Once they left, I don't think they took over the case, but once they left, it became a federal issue. But they may still try them across the street. You never know.
Yeah.
Let me call. You know what? I ain't gonna say her name.
I would like to see what happens next.
I'm gonna call what you call.
All right, I'm just gonna fold, and wherever this opens up at is what we're talking about next. Oh gosh, Zsa Zsa Banks.
I want to do something with my life, Monny. I'm only 35. I want to.
It started with Zsa Zsa Banks, so we got to talk about Zsa Zsa Banks. Well, in a good note, I just hope she gets better, so she can face these charges that are going to come down the pike.
She has pneumonia. So when we last left off with Zsa Zsa Banks, she was giving back the money that was given to her.
But see, what's interesting about Zsa Zsa Banks, right? She got this.
They like, who the hell is Zsa Zsa
She got this suspected pneumonia, right? She got this right before.
Conveniently is the word you're looking for.
It was very convenient. It was very. She got this lung cancer right before.
I need a sign. Al, I need a sign.
She got
the
this
thoughts
right
and
as
opinions of Monny does not reflect this station. Does not
the
reflect
flame started
me.
hitting the pan at the bottom, right? And then all of a sudden she was like, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." And I'm inflamed.
Stop laughing,
the phlegm is building up inside of me. I need to get off the scene. But where did she go? Where did she go? To the University of Maryland. That's the culprit in all of this. They sitting up there hiding this chick. They hiding her.
She down the street?
She's at the University of Maryland. The place that's in the story about the books. I don't get it. Like, why would you go check yourself? And you should have went to any other hospital besides the one that you was on the board of directors of, and that was paying you for books that they never received.
You in danger, girl.
It don't make sense.
University Hospital is horrible.
But she's in the 1% row. She's upstairs.
You should have went to Mercy.
Where they got the specialty rooms. You know that's where she is. She might even be on the veteran hospital side.
Oh, girl, you about to die.
And wearing army fatigue.
Wearing army fatigue. With a mustache.
You in the hood now, baby.
Yes.
You in danger.
We always in the hood now, baby. We live in Baltimore.
You should have went to Mercy. Was it Northwest?
She should have went somewhere other than the place that's a part of the story. If you're gonna hide somewhere else, that's not as convenient as to the possibility of you committing a crime.
Well, she can't go to John Hopkins because anybody can walk into John Hopkins. You can get off the subway and go into John Hopkins and you did there. The security guard be like, go ahead. At least at university, they're going to be like, hey, come get a pass before you go steal something out of somebody's room. Come get this ticket. Oh, that's not showing this ID. Oh, give it. That's fine. Give it.
Gosh. So look, I took the civic survey, and some of these questions I think was appropriate for.
You took one,
the time.
or that's the one
I took it.
Okay.
I took it, but I grabbed some of the questions off of it just to throw it out there. So the first question says, do you think things in this country are headed in the right direction, or have they gotten off track?
They are completely derailed.
Okay, yeah, wrong direction.
That's
what I chose.
Like that train.
And then one of the big questions, I mean, this is, I don't know how many people out there actually care, but the other question was, do you approve or disapprove of the way that Donald Trump is handling his job as president?
I would say, as a citizen, I disapprove. Mm-hmm. But as somebody who wants to hustle the system, you have to give him his credit. He's done.
Oh, I call it Jar Jar. It is Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar just sounds so much more.
It sounds better. Let's keep it that way. Jar Jar Binks. That's the female version.
Right. It sounds so. It sounds so. Diplomatic. Jar Jar.
Catherine Pugh, aka Jar Jar Binks.
My diamonds died.
My diamonds. I got her from the contractors. Like, why she didn't learn her lesson though? Like dealing with the contract. Did you hear the part about where one of the people that helped her move into her house, a contractor? Mm-hmm. What? Okay, that helped her move into her house. Got a condo right there on back in over here by Drill Park again. Here we go. Got a condo for below market rate.
Well, I mean, I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
But that's the problem. We just went through this with what's the other one? Not SRB.
Dixon.
Before Dixon.
So instead of gift cards, she giving out
favors. But that's that favor stuff that causes
problems. Well, no,
problems.
because that's a grant program in the city where you get to live near where you work.
But where he work, I mean, he's a contractor. He does moving
her
services.
Stage house is right not too far from there. So I'm just saying, like.
Yeah, I did hear she lives over there.
No, I didn't say that. It's her stage house. That's where she got on the record where she live at. But if you go there, ain't shit in the house.
Nothing. I've seen the house. It's lit up pretty nice.
Well, I mean, wouldn't your stage house be? For sure. I just want Sheila Dixon back. I even want Sheila Dixon or Joshua Harris or I know.
It should have been somebody other than her. I don't know how she got in. Like, I didn't even know of her before the race.
She clawed her way to the top. She was one of those city officials that you think was nodding off. Like, don't she give you, like, I take naps in the middle of the day? Like, that's what she was doing. She was a career politician.
What I really want to happen is
Dixon brought her in. She was a part of that.
For somebody to go in her bedroom, pull that drawer open that got the rollers in it, and just pour gasoline. Just put the gasoline in there and just close it back up with a
What is she going to do?
A book of matches lit.
How's she going to bump those ends?
We got to take a break when we come back. We got more. I want to talk about chicken pox next.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
My aunt, she used to roll up
it don't look as stiff no more though.
And use them as rollers. So that, I mean, that's at least she got the rollers. We know they're in the drawer. She has a special drawer for rollers. And I thought we let that go in the 80s, but not Pew. Not Jaja. Jaja keeps it up.
Cause she was not dressing like that. Both of them, her and Rollins Blake, just wanted to be fancy. Y'all can't compete with Sheila Dixon. Y'all can't compete with her. First of all, Sheila Dixon's daughter is a buyer in New York. You can't. She get Sheila Dixon clothes for free. Y'all out here buying this shit.
I thought this was interesting. I just wanted to talk about it because I know that now that we're in the 21st century, everybody is talking about why, thinking about stopping getting vaccinations. Like, what is wrong with you?
Well, okay. So I normally get a flu shot.
Mm-hmm. That's not a vaccination, though.
No,
that's
the
one time you have to get that every year.
Yeah, but it's kind of similar because all of us in our age range, we got all the vaccinations. Mm-hmm. But so last year I did not get it because what happened was I worked in a school, but I worked in a school in the second part of the year. Mm. So because I work in the beginning, we normally have to get them in the beginning. So the beginning of the year, I didn't get them.
So you'd be saturated throughout the year.
So I did not get it. I got it that year, but then last year I didn't get it. Because the year before that, I got really sick. Like my stomach just, that was the first time I actually had to call out. And I just got sick, so I said, I'm not getting the flu shot. And that was the year where people was dying and shit, and they was saying this strand and that strand and that flu shot.
That was the H1N1 stuff.
Right, but people were getting sick from the flu shot. Remember they were saying there was something wrong with the different strands that they were giving out to people. And I was scared. So this year, my doctor's like, I really think you should get one. And I was like, I'm not getting no fucking flu shot.
And that's why your throat sound like that.
I sound like this every fall. This is a sinus.
Okay, but it's spring, so fall was last year.
No, I get springtime.
You said you get this every fall, is what you just said.
No, I said my flu shot. I get my flu shot
you said my throat sounds like this every fall.
Every spring. No, I said every spring.
You said. We can go back in the record.
We can go back to it. Because I sound like this every spring. Because that's how I know it's about to get warm.
You said I sound like this every fall. That's what you said. So what's your excuse for the spring?
First of all, no. But I think people feel the same way about vaccinations because nobody can explain to them why certain things are happening to children now. Mm-hmm. Like there are a lot of cases of children being mentally delayed and so many autistic and learning disabilities that are just springing up, and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
I know, right?
And nobody. There's no rhyme or reason.
You coughed it. It was like, ew.
I got you, Aldo. I got you. But there's no rhyme or reason to it. And they can't explain to people why children have to get it. Now, I understand. I don't think nobody needs measles, mumps, or rubella or whatever. All those things were, but like whooping cough and all, like I don't want any of that stuff to come back, but you're not explaining to people and you're not telling people that you're trying new things out. Like,
right, but now I get what you're saying right there. If it's something new, yes, I understand where you're coming from. When it's something new, you do need to explain, give people the nutritional facts, and let people know what's inside this drug. Because also you don't know if somebody might be allergic to whatever inside. Like, because sometimes they mix those vaccines with penicillin because the penicillin is supposed to break down your system so it can rebuild it back up. And I'm allergic to penicillin, so if you got a drug that got penicillin in it, you're already trying to kill me. So I don't want you to kill me twice.
Also, the flu shot, some of them are made with the egg,
Mm-hmm. And
so, and some people, and that was, I think, when I got it, the last time I got it, that was what the problem was, because I don't eat eggs. And as you get older, you start developing allergies to things. But they're not, and these people nowadays, these younger parents, they're reading everything. Our parents are like, let's go get these fucking shots, because I don't want you to be held out of school. But now,
but that's exactly. I'm glad you said that because that's exactly what this is. It's a student who refused chickenpox vaccination sues after being barred from playing basketball. I'm surprised he was just barred from playing basketball and not barred from coming to school.
Well, because you can say.
Even though chickenpox isn't deadly, but it
well,
can be.
in that environment, it can be
because it can lead to shingles.
Right, but later in life, but in that instance, in that environment, any sports environment, they'll let you come to school, but you're not supposed to go in the locker room. You're not supposed to be playing because people sweat.
Oh, I'm not going to. I'm not going to school period with chickenpox because.
Well, you're gonna die. Like what this saying.
I'm going home so I can scratch.
Yeah, I had it real bad, but it
no, ain't no ill. Chickenpox scratching was the best scratching ever.
No, it wasn't.
Until it started to hurt.
No, it just I felt.
But that itch, you get the right comb, the right rat tail comb, and you scratch that bump.
I didn't scratch anyway, so I didn't have.
I didn't scratch a lot. But that's why you had to have a rat tail comb because you do like this with the rat tail comb.
You just
and keep it from marking you up.
This is the only place where they
on your
you
face.
Could tell. Yeah,
your chickenpox was on your face.
I was out of school for a month and a half.
Sheesh, I did a week.
Yeah, I was out for a month and a half.
I was out for a week, but I wasn't even out of school because I got them in the summertime.
Mine was
I could not go swimming.
So right after winter break is when I got them. I didn't go back to maybe.
I swore to everybody in my family that I got them from eating them honeysuckles. I got chickenpox. And nobody gonna tell me different. I said I'll never eat another honeysuckle off a tree again. Because as soon as I finished eating that honeysuckle, I started itching.
This is why you feed your children and they eating off fucking trees.
That's what we used to do back then. I mean, well, it wasn't that long.
So you was eating pesticides.
We gotta go to break. I'll be back.
You from the city. You ain't from the county, nigga. That's pesticide.
We'll be back.
Your mother sprayed them damn trees.
Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular. It's getting that person money. It's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. So deeply wounded, but don't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. So you just sit there and you suffer in silence. Your pride won't let you just uncover your secret. Don't wanna look weak in your image, it ain't worth losing. So you just act as if it's nothing happening. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. Suicidal, depressed, but you won't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I thought this.
That's pretty sorry we have to do.
Oh my gosh, I thought this was so funny. Back to Jaja.
Jaja.
AKA Catherine Pugh. A trove of Mayor, this is what this article says, a trove of Mayor Pugh's self-published children's book, of course, children. Blame
she
it on
got
them.
children books, she still got the boutique?
It's said to be in this gritty location in East Baltimore. There's a warehouse off of Pulaski Highway where apparently they were supposed to be housing her books, right? But they say, as a member of the media, we're trolling through online databases to uncover more details about Mayor Catherine Pugh's Healthy Holly book deal. Baltimore school officials were working hard to keep a reporter from viewing the dead tree documents at the heart of the scandal. The stash of 8,700 Healthy Holly books, they have said they located at a warehouse on Pulaski Highway, said only authorized food and nutrition staff are permitted to enter that warehouse. Why? Why is it locked in a...
Who owns the warehouse? Is it the city owner?
I do believe so. Baltimore City Public School Systems, food and nutrition facilities, and office and warehouses.
Ooh.
So this is where this stuff is kind of continuing to get intertwined into conflict of interest.
So you're using government funds,
resources
to store your
and then
books.
you got people that have no business being guards, as in staff and warehouse managers, guarding your book stash.
So that means she's selling them to the school
So
system too?
everything that I said for the past, how long has she been in office? 2 years? 2 years has been true. This should have never happened.
Yeah.
Y'all keep voting these criminals into office, and I don't understand it.
And people are defending her. They are defending like her to this death. This is not. She did nothing criminally wrong. Talking about this book deal with the University.
It's not criminal, but it's misuse of resources that you are the government over. You
That's
are governing.
criminal, though.
And that's
that
a misuse of you using your personal business, but using city resources.
You could be fired for that.
You don't get to do that just because you are the mayor. That's not what happens. That's not what's supposed to go down. Government business is government business. Your personal business is your personal business. You should have been stopped. I don't think you should be releasing books while you're mayor. Period. You got a salary.
I'm a store myself and all my things in my apartment.
Because it continues to be a hindrance on the... When did you write this book? Was you writing it during your office hours?
I mean, she probably...
Because you are mayor 24/7, so you are not even... you shouldn't be even allowed to do this.
Well, you let Rollins Blake do a show.
I didn't let Rollins Blake do a damn thing besides get a perm.
You let her do Chicago at Hippodrome.
She was mayor then?
Yeah.
But wasn't she on stage for like 5 minutes?
She was. But
I don't think that was even... She couldn't be considered an actor over that. Even though she acted all her career.
Right, I've seen less be considered. Just saying. But
you saw her? You said you saw it? When she was on there? She was on stage for like 5 minutes. She came out with that little sparkly dress and she disappeared. Like her career. Where does she work? That's why she disappeared into the background. Nobody cares about her.
She's a consultant.
Neither did her parents.
Neither did her parents.
Anyway, let's talk about Wendy. Because now this whole situation is just getting out of control. So today, they apparently reported that they're reporting that after yesterday's show, yesterday's show, while she was on the air, is when the news broke that the girl had the baby by her husband. Her husband was there. He apparently wasn't at the studio, so obviously, that just means that he was with her.
Right.
So she has this baby. Apparently, according to where I got this from on Love Beat Scott, Wendy Williams actually went into a downward spiral, actually went to the sober house that she was staying, checked out of the sober house, leaving the person that she has a 24-hour mate that's supposed to be with her to help her stay on her sobriety tip. She ended up going to the sober house, completely checking out of the sober house, and then going on an alcohol binge, leading her to God knows where, because they couldn't find her for a long time. So eventually she turns up. They take her to the hospital. They give her IV fluids, what they call the banana bag, and gets her sober enough that I guess she probably stayed in the hospital overnight, because then she shows up in the morning and does her show today.
You're saying sober. What is she doing?
Alcohol. She was drunk. So since this has been going on, she's been binging on alcohol. Not the cocaine. I mean, she kicked that, and I think that I can commend her for that.
Allegedly.
Well, I don't know. I say not allegedly because I did hear about those.
Who checks themselves into rehab if they not?
No, I'm talking
relapsing?
About the what she got? The Graves' disease. The Graves' disease drugs.
Right. She was overusing them.
No, what I'm saying is the Graves' disease drugs can't mix with cocaine. It will stop your heart, basically. So that's why I was like, I kind of, I can understand the alcohol thing. Right. But at the same time, you are famous for giving this advice to people. Well,
that's most people.
And this is not the first time he's cheated on you. And the saying goes, "Once a cheater, always a cheater."
Well, you
got yourself in the situation because you knew it was going to happen again.
But again, she prides herself on being ahead of the news. So she felt like these were just rumors. But now
it wasn't no rumor. The girl had a name in a house that you own with her name in the mailbox.
Yeah,
that's not a rumor.
Remember,
you can't make this kind of stuff
up. See, that's been in the last year.
Apparently, Perry can't because he made headlines with all the.
But I'm saying. So stupid. But I'm saying, this has all happened in the last year. That story about the reporter.
Did you see that having the hands not the other day?
I can't watch it too slow.
Oh my God, it is too. It's very slow. But it had me crying like I was going to die on the inside.
It's too slow.
Anyway, go ahead.
The lighting is good, but I can't.
The lighting is good.
It's good. It's really good lighting. But I'm just saying, all this stuff just came out. It was all rumors and chatter. Nobody believed it until that news, that magazine came out with that year-long investigation they was doing, which I really think it was Wendy Williams giving them information. That's what I'm thinking. But I think she tried to get ahead of it. So she was like, well, I had a problem and I'm never taking my ring off, and then her ring is off her finger.
No, it's still on. She still got that ring on.
She took it off. They have a picture without her wedding ring on.
Oh, no, she got it on today. This was on there today. It says, according to reports, Kevin told Sharina, who's the girl that's pregnant,
they just had the picture
that he loves her, but he can't leave his wife because she pays all the bills.
Oh, truth is truth.
I mean, it is true, but he gets a paycheck. He works for the company. He works there. That's what his job is.
If he's no longer working there, he no longer has paycheck.
But he is. That's the thing. He's a partner. It's not like she can, I mean, I don't know if that's in his contract, because believe me, it would be in mine.
Well, they have a prenup agreement, though.
We hope.
And just like she kept saying to Mary J. Blige, pay this nigga off and let him go away.
Go away. I agree with that.
I swear she'll get so many more fans and followers if she did that. She in the middle of this Me Too movement. You'll get so much
I understand
support.
why, here's another reason why I understand why, because in one of her miscarriages, one of her late-term miscarriages that Wendy had, one of them was a girl. So now this bitch comes along and has a baby girl for her husband.
She should have got ahead of this instead of trying to be the dowdy wife that's standing by her man. You just finished giving Mary J. Blige all this advice over the last year that she was going through the TV. I need you to give yourself this advice. And I'm a person that gives a lot of advice. And I know sometimes you got to take your advice. But this right here, when your business is, she is global at this point. Your business is global.
Which is why I'm glad she showed up this morning, because that would have been a real punch. And in the downward,
well, she probably can't miss no more time from that show.
That's what I'm saying. This would have been a real punch in the downward spiral if she would not have made it today and then called out for the rest of the week. I mean, it really probably wouldn't have made a difference though, because the show is going on hiatus again next week anyway, because they go on hiatus for spring break.
Yeah, but she can't miss no more time. That's costing them money to keep paying people to fill in for her. Like, she's on a salary. So in addition to that, they're paying out. They also have to pay these guest people to come in and sit in for the show. I'm quite sure Nick Cannon and them may do that shit for free.
I love Wendy Williams, but yes, she is a functioning drunk and needs some help. She needs to love herself first. Stop worrying about how crazy she's going to look.
That's Mr. Mervin.
To some folks, and leave that damn man. His cheating is not alleged. Wendy gotta own that and own up as a woman. Leave his ass and get you.
But you know what?
Get you back.
So the advice that she normally gives to people, which is unfortunate, is turning back on her. I think right now she's trying to save face for her son, and I think probably because his relationship is much closer to his father than it is with her. So but you doing the reverse of what information you put out there. Like, I had a mother that was cheated on. I would never want that on anybody. I would never want that for anybody's life. I watched many of my friends get cheated on. I don't personally know what that feels like, but you gotta cut it off. Like, you can't let this linger, because we can physically see it's starting to take a toll. It's one thing if it was just rumors and you was going to get high in the back or drinking, but we can physically see you passed out on TV.
Right.
And you're in a sober house. These two things are not independent of each other, and they're almost a year apart. Like, this has been happening to you, and you've been trying to, like, she too old for this. Wendy thinks she in her 30s. Wendy, you are 60-some years old.
No, she not.
She is. She what, in her late 50s?
She's 54.
That's damn near 60. You too grown for that. You too grown for that.
Let me just tell you, all right, because I found the story, so I can be specific with what happened yesterday. The 54-year-old checked herself out of her sober living home in Long Island City, Queens, on Monday afternoon and started drinking, eventually being found by her team, who took her to a hospital to sober up. It is understood that the star sober coach, who had been with her 24 hours a day, raised the alarm. A studio source told DailyMail.com she was in a bad way and disappeared from the studio after her show Monday. She went back to the sober house only to check herself out and decided to start drinking. It's not clear where she went, but she headed in the direction of her home in New Jersey and managed to find alcohol along the way. Where it got back to the studio, and there was a panic and concern. Everyone was looking for her, and no one knew whether there will be a show today, as in today. She was eventually found and was drunk. She was immediately taken to the hospital. But like I said, she ended up going to the show today and did the show.
Like, I think she's well enough to know what my responsibilities are, but and I'm not in this situation, so I don't ever give advice to anybody like this.
And she played a good role today, because you couldn't tell that none of that happened yesterday.
Well, and this is the danger of the entertainment industry. This is the danger in it. Look how long some of the other celebrities have lasted. Look how long Whitney was Whitney before we realized there was a problem. Michael Jackson, all these people. Look how long.
You said Whitney?
Right.
Did you say Whitney?
Whitney.
Oh.
Yeah, Whitney. Look how long. But look how long it took us to realize it was a problem.
Oh, they knew it was a problem with Whitney.
No, they knew, but look how long it took us to figure that out.
Oh, we didn't care, and we still don't care.
We don't, but I'm just saying, for somebody to be able to help her, they knew that this was a problem. The people that are around her know.
But you got to understand, Whitney was a strong-minded woman who really took nothing from no one.
Yeah, but there are things that
you could have came to her, but as that addiction was already in there, like Bobby, when he came in the picture, like, well, according to the story, Bobby wanted to help us stop.
Right.
He ended up joining in.
I don't think he wanted to stop. But so if you looking at
that's what I said. According to the story, so he was like, "Stop." But
according to his story,
he ended up saying, "Let me hold your finger."
Right, exactly. So if you are watching Iyanla Fix My Life right now, the episodes with Leandra Johnson is on there now, and this is a prime example of what we do. So she has a booking agent that was also on a show with her that is showing us what happens when you have the wrong people around you. And for me, Mervin just made a statement that she's not going to pay him off and let him go because she'll feel like she could be by herself. Like at some point, you have to take responsibility for your actions and be able to get people out of your space that are not healthy for you. Like it's physically, and it's going to take them saying you can't do this show no more, and that's going to kill her. This has been her lifelong dream to do this. And if they take that or they dangle that contract, I believe that's over next year. If they dangle that,
she was renewed to 2021. It's not over next year. But we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion, and then we're going to start on Jussie.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up to, just go hard. Don't matter.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Are tuned in to BeExposedRadio.com.
So we were talking about critical thinking. So we definitely believe that critical thinking is one of the first things we need to start implementing. Not just simply being told things, or how about this? You know, we tend to listen to people who get assigned certain positions.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So when they have certain positions, we tend to think that it's truth attached to that because of their position, right?
Right.
Is that always the case, though?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's probably one of the biggest reasons we should be doing some critical thinking.
Yes, I agree. I definitely.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, a judge already has ruled, and I think this is ludicrous that this is something that can happen now, that you can be judged by the way your hair looks, right? Meaning, those of you that have those dreadlocks, and I know in my close vicinity, I know like 2 or 3 people that got they can deny you work now for having dreads.
I've been going through that since middle school.
See, it's been tied up though in circuit court for a couple of months now, where because of the heritage that goes with dreadlocks,
the religion,
they tried to claim that it was a religious right.
Well, thing. if you are, and it just jumped out my head.
Jamaican.
A Rasta.
Jamaican.
Well, you don't have to necessarily be Jamaican, but if you're a Rasta,
but doesn't it have to be Jamaican?
It's
in the play.
I mean, that's where it originated, but it's
Rastafarian.
That's really Ethiopia. But it doesn't. You don't necessarily have to be Jamaican. You can be from Ethiopia or somewhere else.
Not gonna be from there. Sorry. Not in this climate. Maybe back in the Egyptian times, but not in this climate.
I can't. I refuse with that.
But
that's something. I mean,
I was going to go deeper, but never mind.
But that's been something that has been a problem for a very long time. Like, I've had that issue since middle school, and I went to private schools, and my hair always grew out. So I would want to get it braided or get it, if we weren't allowed to do anything to our hair, we had to cut our facial hair. Like, anything that's popular now, like beards, we weren't allowed to wear stuff like that. And it's still like that in workplace environments. Like, you still have certain standards. Understandably in food environments, but in workplace environments, it's not seen as professional. I don't agree, but...
Right, so the Equal Opportunity Commission has filed a lawsuit against Catastrophe Management Solutions of Mobile, Alabama, for rescinding an offer to the girl, her name is Chastity Jones, because of her dreadlocks hairstyle. Well, she has very long dreadlocks. I don't know if these are faux or not, but so it says the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against the EEOC, which is crazy. I don't think that's fair or right, especially when now they got the faux locks, the styling, and why do you get to decide what my hair looks like?
And it really does make me angry, because when you think of people, especially like even in middle school and high school for me, like the non-black kids could come in there with all the, and it was a lot of the Hispanic kids and a lot of white kids with all the gel in their hair and spiked up. But for us to get our hair, and us when we braid our hair, it's to tame our hair. So it's not out and open.
It says Wilson allegedly said they tend to get messy, although I'm not saying yours are. This is why they're saying they don't like the dreadlocks. But you know what I'm talking about. That's what the interviewer said to her.
But Miss Patty with that big old bouffant is allowed to come in there with all that aqua, right?
Big hair,
right? They're allowed
all
to
that
do
stuff that she did to the daggone environment with the hairspray. The EEOC in their lawsuit said this violated the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Title VII, arguing that dreadlocks are a hairstyle physiologically and culturally associated with African Americans. Further,
and they can grow out your hair they can grow to be dreadlocks. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to get them twisted.
Yeah. Further, the EEOC said the hairstyle is a racial characteristic. Not with all the white people that got them now. Used to harshly and unfairly stereotype black people.
And theirs is dirty.
People who wear they need the dirt to keep it locked.
That's what I'm saying. Theirs literally dirty.
The Court of Appeals, however, disagreed with the rationale, ruling that CMS's racial neutral grooming policy was not discriminatory, as hairstyles, while culturally associated with race, are not immutable physical characteristics.
But I see all these blonde hairs around the office. That's always made me mad. Like, and you don't see that's blatant racism. Like, I'm not allowed to wear my hair naturally. And most of our styles is to maintain our hair. Not even for just decorations. Like, what people do now with natural hair has been to save people's hair in the past, if it was natural. But I'm allowed to wear these big wigs. That makes me think of I told you about the reality show with the Amish. And there's one black girl on there. So the reality show centers around that time period where Amish teenagers or Amish individuals get to live what they call the American life. Meaning they're not doing their traditional garb. So they get to go to like hairdressers or the regular barbershop to get their hair done, regular stores. And it's one black girl who was adopted into an Amish family. And they sent her to this beauty salon up there in Pennsylvania. And it ain't a bunch of black people up there. They had this one black wig. And when I say that wig looked like they just put some hay together and spray painted it black. And she was wearing her hair like it was everything. But it makes me think about stuff like that. Like, they can wear their hair however they choose to, but we're relegated to basically putting on a do-rag and just tying our hair up or cutting it all off.
I'm sitting here like right now thinking in my head of a way to word this where it wouldn't sound crazy, but it's impossible.
What is it?
Black is a choice. Being black is a choice.
Is a choice?
Think about it. It's a choice for this lady.
Oh,
who lived
for the
70
lady.
years on this planet.
So I
she was black.
saw the man, and I didn't know it was her. She was at a workshop where one of my other jobs. So she was doing a workshop there, and when she walked in, she had these shades on, and I kept saying, "That looks why?" Like she just wearing shades. No damn sun outside. And after, like the next day, everybody was like, "That was Rachel DeLoza." What's her name, DeLoza?
Oh,
but she was so low key. They had like a teachers workshop thing at the Impact Hub, and she came to it, and she looked so like, but she looked light skinned though. Like to see her in person, she looks light skinned.
So this woman. I mean, this is black and white, but you would have thought that even in black and white that's a black woman.
Because we got family members that probably
right.
Like
my
that.
Grandmother. Now I'm questioning if my grandmother's black.
That Thomas Jefferson syndrome.
So this woman discovers that she's white after 70 years. 70 years.
Now, how did she figure out she was white?
All right. Her name is Verda Bird. She was adopted by a black family.
That's what I was about to say.
And grew up thinking she was a light-skinned black woman until 2014, when she found out her biological parents were both white.
Somebody not telling the truth. Because she looked black.
Well, they probably didn't know until she probably had to do some kind of DNA search.
But why would they raise her as a black girl?
Because they were both black.
And not just say she was mixed or something.
Right.
At least give us some part of who she is.
She took on their characteristics because she became a light-skinned black woman eventually. They probably went
Where
home.
they from? It don't say.
I bet you this is Texas. I can't see it, but I bet you
Or some Midwestern place. It gotta be.
It says Bird, who published the book 70 Years of Blackness. That's the book that she wrote.
Oh, she's 70?
Yeah, I said 70 years. She never knew she was white.
That's
for 70 years.
So everybody in the family know except for you.
Oh, we gotta go to break. Okay, when we come back, I gotta complete this. We'll be right back.
Poor Verna. She got it.
I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Bedroom phone ring, girl in t-shirt answers me. I get off on the way that she answers me. First time saw her, I knew she was the one for me. Ever since then, we've been vibing on some chemistry. It's just a matter of time. I know she feeling my vibe. I got the keys to the ride. She put her hands on my thigh.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Just a bit outside radio show.
There is one glaring stat that I read about while watching the games over the weekend. New York Yankees went 22 straight innings with at least one strikeout.
Really?
That's a major league record for the postseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting statistic.
It is, you know, and then when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, that, to me, that's like a big reason why, you know, they're losing right now.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'ma show these niggas what to do at one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world and found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I don't want to talk about that today.
That's how I used to think Sean Yost was so slick until I did his show. And they were bringing him his script in there. I was like, nigga, this ain't even you talking. And that's
Welcome back
WEA.
to, I guess, you know, because he just said niggas. I'll continue. Because we're talking about,
I don't use that word.
We talk about this faux one.
I know she mad.
So Bird, who published the book 70 Years of Blackness in December 2017, says she never questioned her race until she began researching her biological family in 2013. I didn't know what I was.
Adopted.
She knew she was adopted.
Right.
She said, I didn't know what I was. She said, it was never told to me that I was white.
So I wonder if the family knew.
Mrs. Bird is the biological daughter of Daisy and Earl Beagle. Yes, very white. A poor white couple. Yeah.
Well, that's somewhat black. I'm just saying, it kind of is where we meet at.
Yeah, they intertwine.
Right.
A poor white couple with 4 other children at the time of her birth. So apparently, okay, wait a minute, let's get sad. I'm sorry. Here we go. Her father abandoned the family in 1943, and her mother sustained a traumatic injury after falling from a trolley. Girl.
Oh no.
That's why they need to have seatbelts on them things.
Oh my God.
When Bird was 5 months old, oh damn. The injury happened when she was 5 months old.
Oh, damn.
The children were later taken by the state. Oh, gosh, it's getting worse.
That sounds like a Tiffany Haddish story.
Daisy regained custody of all the children except for Bird. Oh.
Because she probably was the baby.
Who was adopted by Ray, and listen to this, Ray and Edwina Wagner.
Yeah. That's where they got Verna from.
Very black. Oh. They renamed her Verda Ann.
Right.
Verda Ann.
Ooh, my aunts hate that. All their name is Ann.
May Ann, Mary Lou.
My mother is Sarah Ann. She is a Barbara Ann. Is a Kathy Bay. Is a Valerie Ann.
There's a Mary Ann.
Mary Ann. That was my great grandmother, Mary Ann.
She was raised as an only child. Bird's biological parents were dead by the time she made the discovery. But she doesn't feel like she missed out on anything. You shouldn't if you lived a full life.
Well, I wonder, like,
I still would go around checking off the box that I'm black.
I do white
because you want to know unless she told you. Again, black is a choice. Slavery was not.
It was a choice. I still stand by that. I don't think he got it all up here, but slavery was a choice. It was more of us than it was of them. At what point? And I know some people are like, it's controversial, but it was more of them, more of us than it was of them.
The problem was that they had the guns.
Eventually they had the gun. Well, yeah, they did.
No, they had the guns.
Yeah. But I fixed your food, nigga.
Right, and they could have always had some ipecac in it.
No, that ground up glass.
They ain't no glass.
You did. They do have glass. You grind up the glass.
They had glass back
or the
then?
Crystals from the chandelier.
Oh yeah, they did.
You grind it up, and you put that shit in the food, and they bleed from the inside out.
They've been using candles to light their houses up.
I mean, they still had candles in them, but they were still chandeliers.
I know, but you made glass. Come on.
But you couldn't figure out fucking electricity.
You sat up here and made glass.
Where's your priorities at?
You sitting around here being lazy with wax and candle and strings.
Well, did you know the idea of gaslighting started here in Baltimore? Right at the Pill Center?
Everything kind of starts here.
That's why we call Light City.
Ain't that why peanut butter was made right over there? Bird's biological parents were dead by the time she made the discovery. No, she said, no, I don't regret it.
So that's why I said I wonder if she has siblings.
She said because the way I understand it now is they probably wouldn't have been able to provide a good life that she's had.
But you know what's? And I wonder if like her mindset switched now. Like I'm a white woman. Like I wonder like
I can live privileged.
Right, because she's probably married to a black man.
She's an author.
Possibly. But I'm wondering like this her. Like, at some point, we've all said it now, like, man, I wish I was born white. Like, I wonder what the privilege will be like. But she really can feel that now. Like, she don't have to dress like that no more. She can change her name to Beasley. She don't have to be...
It says she eventually visited Daisy's grave and had a reunion with 3 of her biological sisters.
Oh.
Sybil Panko.
Oh, they got to feel
Debbie
good.
Romero. Wait. Debbie Romero and Catherine... Gutierrez. Oh,
That's Italian.
Married somebody Spanish. But the happy reunion was short-lived when Panko called her a nigger.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you... Probably because she came there, like, with her herbal essence on. I want to call it, like, her oils and stuff. But she probably came there. But I'm wondering, in her mind, has it switched? Or is she still a black woman?
No, I'm thinking now that she's living in her blackness at this point.
But I'm saying, like, but once you're told that and you know it to be true, like, can you switch? Like, do you start calling people
So how do you be
wrong?
racist when you know Panko knew she was white? So how do you be racist against that?
But to them...
Because she was raised by 2 black people.
Right. And she probably appeared to be black. Like, look at that woman. Like... Maybe her mother wasn't telling her the truth. Like, we don't know who that daddy was.
So here you go. Panko
Maybe that's
died.
how she had that accident on that trolley.
The sister Panko died in 2016, and Bird was barred from the funeral. Damn. Oh, wow. Even in death, you a bitch.
Damn. But that made the rest of the family racist then.
Panko made the request in writing. Oh, goddamn, you a horrible bitch. That's a bitch. Wow. I like go with Bird, you should have kicked her tombstone over. That's what I did.
Showed up when they was at the gravesite.
Bird's remaining blood sister stopped speaking to her after the death and left her dismayed by the rejection.
Wow.
That is messed up. I wouldn't want to know them bitches either. I'm 70 years old. What the hell do I care about these 2 whores?
Because you don't have no other siblings.
It don't matter.
And that's your only connection to your family, and they don't even
But they don't want me. They didn't want me then either. So it's a trait.
Well, she probably didn't have a choice because babies grow faster
she was adopted
than
as a baby,
right.
But the mother got the rest of the kids back and then still left me. I would take that as a trend. This is a trend. You bitches like to leave babies at doorstops.
Because the other ones probably wasn't adopted though. The other ones maybe.
Well, no, she got all 4 of the other kids back.
That's what I'm saying. They may not have been adopted because people normally go for babies.
Oh, those are 4 kids. So 3 girls. So she damn mother had all girls. She was like, I'm tired of these bitches. That's what she said.
That had to feel good. Well, she probably going through something now because her family don't want her. And now I gotta be still be friends with these niggas over here.
Unless they're dismayed by rejection. She was like, what did I do? I found you, she said in the incident. You are my sisters.
Well, that gotta feel crazy. But I'm a white woman. I promise you.
But I'm really white. No, you're a homo.
They have to feel the same. No! Let's talk about Jesse because you don't got a lot of time.
I don't have a lot of time. Damn, it was so much to cover this time. Like this priest who was molesting boys and then moved to the Dominican Republic to continue molesting boys after being defrocked from out the church. I was going to talk about that too. I guess I just gave it to you. So let's continue. Let's do a speed round. Hold on. Huh?
Crystal.
Where's my trip to the Dominican Republic? I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna catch him. I got you. I got y'all covered. Anastasia.
That's what you're probably going to see on the low.
What name was I can say?
Anastasia.
I was, but her name was Alexandria. Ocasio-Cortez is under fire. This is a stupid story because it came from that. Let me just backtrack because I hate this woman. Laura Ingraham, from Fox News.
Yeah.
I can't stand her life.
Why you don't like her?
You like her?
No.
I'm about to say, what's wrong with you? She hinted that because, AOC, that's what I call her now, too. She hinted that because AOC is, I'm supposed to be doing a speed round. All right. She said something about the Latina thing because AOC is so prominent right now because she's using her Latino thing. So every time she says her name, she says it in a Latino accent.
Oh.
So when she goes to the
like
Ocasio-Cortez, Ocasio-Cortez, when she says it.
Like Sonny Hostin did.
How Sonny do it?
Sonny, I mean, she be trying to bring out her Spanish root. But you're a black girl, Sonny. We see your rap. We see it. It's
but like that was very racist. That was kind of racist. She is Hispanic, so when she says her name, she says it the way it's said in her heritage.
Like she, what's the lady that's running for president? Like she her.
Elizabeth Warren. Pocahontas. That's what Trump called her. All right, come on.
She got 9%.
So we all know. I'll speed round. Let me finish. All right, I got one more minute. Just finish the speed round. Now Dr. Dre, he donated $70 million to a school a couple years ago, right before he sold Beats by Dre. Mm-hmm. Then, now today, his daughter got accepted into that same school, to USC.
But people been doing that for years.
I don't see anything wrong with that. He didn't bribe anybody to get her in school. He bought a building, and I think inherently, if I bought you a building, all my kids should go here.
But that's how most of the university, even HBCUs, they're named after somebody. Mm-hmm. And sometimes those students or students from that family end up going to that school.
I bought you a library. All of my kids are going here. If my name's on the building, all of my kids are going here. Because I'm a member. I think that automatically makes me a member. And I need my honorary degree when I get back on Monday.
Right. It's no different than some of these people who leave foundations in their names and their family gets to go to their school or their children or whatever. I don't think now if you're illegally changing grades to get people into school.
That's the difference. When you start claiming scholarships and stuff
and
like that,
you're giving people
and you don't really need them.
What was it? Facebook. What was it? Where they buy and sell, trade the whatchamacallit? Like they gave them stock in Facebook. I think one of them gave like $100,000 to one of the coaches so their daughter can be on the team. Like something like that. That's illegal. That's bribing and accepting a bribe. But
all right, Jesse. So we all should know by now, I mean, because I can't be breaking this news at this point because it broke all day long, that all the charges were dropped.
All 16 charges?
All 16 charges, except for, where people are drawing some kind of confusion to this is because, when the charges were dropped and you were found basically vindicated of all charges, you typically would have got your bond back. Now, in whatever kind of deal this was, and I don't know if there was a deal because there wasn't a plea. It wasn't like he pleaded guilty and this was the deal, but he did not get his $10,000 returned to him. Mm. I don't understand that necessarily, but regardless, whatever happened, because the case is now sealed, so we'll never know. Mm-hmm.
But they said allegedly he was supposed to have, he was supposed to do some type of community service, but then that got changed as well. Allegedly.
Right, but that means they just, again, somebody said that to me too, that he had to pay them $100,000 and he had to do community service. Again, you can't give somebody community service without there being a plea.
A charge.
A plea, a guilty or not guilty. So whether they wanted to give him community service or not, again, you had weak evidence. Mm-hmm. None of your evidence really directly pointed to Jussie Smollett.
Even the two brothers, that wasn't their evidence. These two boys went on their Twitter account and said, he paid us to do this. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to get some type of clout, but didn't realize the police was going to go after them.
Right.
So, because they needed something to grab onto. So, I think all of this was just, the Trump, I don't even understand how you get 16 charges. Like I really.
But see, that was the grand jury's doing. That wasn't even a prosecutor because like, somebody said to me earlier today, well, there was 16 charges, so we had this debate between the prosecution and the grand jury. So the prosecution would have gave charges had they not had any biases. They had biases. So when you have biases, you pass it off to a grand jury to deliberate and make the appropriate assumptions on what the charges would be. They don't know what they're doing. They're regular lay people. They're not lawyers. So when they go in there and they say, okay, all right, give them 16 charges. That's how it happened.
Right.
And then based off of how this was all set up, because first of all, like you've been saying all along for the past couple of weeks, this should have never exploded the way it did. If that superintendent in Chicago wasn't trying to bluster his fledgling police station, we would have never known about this until charges would have actually been dropped.
Because what was the point of you doing a press conference?
It shouldn't have been. I don't even know why they're allowed to talk. He shouldn't have been on the podium saying anything about an ongoing case.
Well, at that point, by the time they came out, most of the information had already been leaked.
It was being leaked, but you still shouldn't have backed that up because you were supposed to be, and you should have been trying to seal the leaks. And then start to do your
And I'm not saying you should have like saying
every step of the way they was trying to do an account for what they were doing inside this.
But they shouldn't have determined whether he was guilty or innocent. They shouldn't have decided. They were already on one side of this case from the very beginning. They had already chosen that he was guilty. They were already angry at him. It looked like they were looking at Facebook like, oh shit, yeah, he did do this. Like it was like they were looking at that before they did the press conference, and then they were mad at the press conference that he was wasting their time. Like, you looking at Facebook. You're not even doing any you hadn't even done any investigation at that point. Like, all you had did was took his story. That was it. It wasn't enough. It's scary to me that something can happen that fast, and that much can be drummed up against somebody just that fast. All you need is one person to share it and it go viral. Like this case went viral. It wasn't even investigated. It went viral. That was it.
It wasn't investigated. That's the problem. But they was extensively looking around the city for anybody that may have saw something. But that's not investigating. That's just crowd.
When I tell you, this season better be fucking phenomenal. It better be fucking phenomenal.
For Empire?
It better.
Oh my goodness! I thought
it better be phenomenal. They can't. This revived it. It just revived it.
The ratings shot through the roof for the past couple of episodes.
You better get some real writers in there. You better get some real actors in there.
All right, we gotta take a break. We're gonna continue when we come back. This is Be Exposed Radio.
That went quick. That was a quick time. This last season better be.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, one with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right. they were going into that national series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
So, okay, welcome back to the show. We were in the middle of... Oh, the mic just come on. Welcome back to the show. We were just in the middle of talking about Jussie Smollett and the fact that all of his charges have been dropped and he's a free man. His record has been wiped clean.
But didn't they say the police department bounced back after he made
Right, that's what I was getting ready to get to. So after all of that happened, like 30, it was probably 45 to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Here we have the mayor, Rahm Emanuel, and the superintendent, I don't know his name,
You
Eddie
can call
something.
him the superintendent. He's the chief.
He's the police superintendent.
They not called superintendent?
Yeah, in Chicago they are.
I didn't know they were called superintendent.
Yeah, his Chicago mayor, Rahm Emanuel, and the superintendent's name is Eddie something.
Eddie Long?
No, Eddie Longstruck is dead.
I lost.
He died. He died stroking. They were so angry. It was just a really sour moment in the life of Chicago, because I thought it was stupid that they were up there screaming, so pissed and upset about something that you effed up.
But I mean, well, that's been the sentiment. Like, they were too fast to make this a big case, and they solved something. And people know Chicago, Detroit, L.A., Baltimore, to have really corrupt Baltimore. I mean,
police.
Really corrupt Baltimore, really corrupt police departments, justice systems, and this is a prime example of that.
This is a prime example of them. They jumped out there because they thought this was the perfect crime to set this police department back in the right light. To put this back in the right light, and it blew up in your face because you were not doing this the right way.
You notice how we haven't heard from the brothers?
Exactly, and that was one of my things, right? Because
were they really real? Were the brothers
right? Were they really real? But not only that, the people that did the crime weren't the ones that were paying. I mean, even though you're trying to say this was a hoax and all this other kind of stuff, you went for the star power.
You did.
You went for the star power instead of going for the people that actually caused
the altercation. I could see if all 3 of them was on trial.
All 3 of them should have been on charge. You took the deal. You gave them a deal so you could go after the star, so the star could set your station.
But what deal did you go up? What deal could you have possibly gone with them? Because I'm quite sure they was like, look, we lied.
The thing about it is the whole entire community around them was turning on the police after the shooting of their black car, the black kid.
Yeah.
So nobody trusts the Chicago Police Department. So now they're turning their backs on them. Anything that happens, anybody gets shot, because somebody gets shot there probably every 2 hours. No one's calling the police, because what are you going to do? Shoot the wrong person again? Ain't nobody trying to do that. Right. So now they're going to use this opportunity, and which really pissed me off about Rahm Emanuel, because I really actually liked him as the mayor of Chicago, and I thought he was doing good things. But this sets a light on him, where like today when he did the press conference, he kept saying things like, well, this is going to set back the LGBT community, this is going to set back, race relations. This is going to do, why is this going to do all of that? We didn't go to Jussie for that. No one was asking Jussie, oh, speak for us. Can you come to this rally and do this? Are you going to be at the Women's March? We want to see your penis. No one said that.
Ew. Not Jesse.
Not Jesse. That's the wrong event for him, right? Yeah. So, why would this setback? See, again, this was so they could be on the national stage, and everybody had them on their radio, on their television sets. Everybody had them doing it. They set this precedent that they're going to try, by hell or high water, to get this police department back in good graces with their community, and it failed. Well, it failed big because they did what they always did. They didn't investigate. They didn't follow the proper procedures, and they just jumped to a conviction of a black man before the crime had even been prosecuted. So they just what I'm saying. I don't understand even how the Cook County prosecutors were able to allow this man, this superintendent, to actually continue to speak out of turn. You got to let the lawyers do what the lawyers do. That's why they're the prosecutors. He's up there spouting that he did this, you did this, he did this, he did this. He wasn't even the one doing the damn investigation. People are handing you stuff about the investigation, but here you are saying that he did it. Like, you actually know this man set this in motion. And that's it. Like, it was not any time for them to investigate from the time this story broke to the time, the fact that he was even labeled as a as the criminal was only because the two brothers came out. Nobody, I mean, it was rumbles in the gay community or entertainment world, because this was like, oh, that's what, gay people. He probably, because we all assumed initially he was out there on a date and then something went wrong. Exactly. It wasn't even that he was doing this. He was covering up the fact because he wouldn't give them the phone. Right. So we thought he was just covering up a Tinder date gone wrong or something. But that still might be the case. It might be, but that may be the only thing that he did wrong. Like the fact that he wouldn't give over his phone because he probably was out there meeting a date. It could have been both. Both of the two guys was the date. And they was like, no, we're not going back to your apartment, Jesse. No. And they got away. No. And then he grabbed one of them. They started to tussle. He just yelled, oh, if you're not going to do this, I'm going to create this. MAGA! Or what could have happened was all of the things could have happened, and the two boys got away and left Jesse. I see homo in their pictures. Not queers. I see homo. And I gotta go. You guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you for listening. We're back here next Tuesday at 7 o'clock, right here on BeExposedRadio.com. Good night. I'm over there.
This bitch jumping. Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel rap. If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in